Welcome to Easy Learning zed-Mathematics, where the future is bright. In this video, I will be going through the 2025 Grade 9 External English Language Paper 1. I will answer all the questions in this paper, so watch this video to the end so that you don't miss the goodies packed just for you. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, I urge you to subscribe so that you will never miss our future videos. Now let's go and answer the questions. The question is as follows. Your area lacks basic needs. You think it is not right to just sit and watch, but to do something. You decide to write a letter of complaint to your counselor, explaining why those basic needs are required. Here are points to help you write the letter. 1. Roads. 2. Bank or mobile money services. 3. Clinic or hospital. 4. School. 5. Clean water. 6. Transport. 7. Security. 8. Electricity. 9. Accommodation. Using these points and some of your own, write the letter. The length of the letter should be between 200 and 250 words. Before answering the question, let's understand what a letter of complaint is. What is a letter of complaint? A letter of complaint is a formal piece of writing used to express dissatisfaction about a problem, service, or situation and to request corrective action. It is usually addressed to a person in authority, such as a manager, counselor, or company representative. What are factors of a good letter of complaint? Key features of a good letter of complaint. 1. It should be in proper format, which includes sender's address, date, recipient's address, salutation, body, closing, and signature. 2. It is in a formal tone. This means that the letter uses polite but firm language showing seriousness. 3. It should also have a clear purpose. This implies that it explains the problem and why it is unacceptable. 4. It contains details of the issue by giving facts, examples, or evidence of the complaint. 5. It describes the impact. Describe how the problem affects people or the community. 6. It requests action. Suggest or demand what should be done to solve the issue.
Now let's answer the question, which is, your area lacks basic needs. You think it is not right to just sit and watch, but to do something. You decide to write a letter of complaint to your counselor, explaining why those basic needs are required. Here are points to help you write the letter. 1. Roads. 2. Bank/mobile money services. 3. Clinic/hospital. 4. School. 5. Clean water. 6. Transport. 7. Security. 8. Electricity. 9. Accommodation. Using these points and some of your own, write the letter. The length of the letter should be between 200 and 250 words. Here is the letter of complaint to the counselor, and it is as follows. Musende Primary School, P.O. Box 145, Mpulungu, Zambia. 14 November 2025. The Counselor, Tanganyika Constituency. Dear Counselor, I am writing to express my deep concern about the lack of basic needs in our area. It is not right for us to sit back and watch while our community continues to suffer from poor living conditions. I believe it is your duty, as our elected leader, to address these challenges urgently. Firstly, our roads are in a deplorable state, making transport difficult and unsafe. Without proper roads and reliable transport, people struggle to reach markets, schools, and health facilities. In addition, the absence of bank and mobile money services forces residents to travel long distances to access financial services, which is both costly and risky. Healthcare is another pressing issue. Our community has no clinic or hospital, leaving people vulnerable when emergencies arise. Similarly, the lack of schools denies our children the right to education, which is essential for their future. Clean water is also scarce, exposing families to disease. Furthermore, electricity and decent accommodation are basic necessities that remain unmet. Without power, businesses cannot thrive and students cannot study effectively. Security is also inadequate, leaving residents exposed to crime. Counselor, these needs are not luxuries, but rights. I urge you to take immediate action to improve our living standards. Our community deserves better, and we look forward to your response and commitment to change. Yours faithfully, Easy Learning Zed. If you find this video helpful so far, like, share, and subscribe to my channel.
We come to question 2, and it is as follows. Read the following passage and answer the question that follows. Now, let's read the passage. Teen depression, why? 1. When I have a bout of depression, says Anna, I have no motivation to do anything, not even the things I usually love to do. All I want to do is sleep. I often feel that I am unlovable, worthless, and a burden to others. 2. I thought about suicide, recalls Julia. I didn't really want to die. I just wanted to stop feeling this way. I'm normally a caring person, but when I'm depressed, I care little about anyone or anything. 3. Anna and Julia were in their early teens when they first experienced depression. While other young people might occasionally feel down, Anna and Julia had periods of depression that persisted for weeks or months at a time. It's like being stuck in a deep, dark hole with no way out, says Anna. You feel like you are losing your mind, losing who you are. 4. Anna and Julia's situation is not uncommon. The diagnosis of depression among the young appears to be increasing at an alarming rate, and depression is the predominant cause of illness and disability for both boys and girls aged 10 to 19 years, says the World Health Organization, WHO. 5. The symptoms of depression can appear during adolescence and may induce changes in sleep patterns, appetite, and weight. Feelings of despair, hopelessness, sadness, and worthlessness may also appear. Other signs include social withdrawal, trouble concentrating or remembering, suicidal thoughts or actions, and medically unexplained symptoms. When mental health professionals suspect depression, they usually look for groups of symptoms that persist for weeks and that disrupt a person's everyday life. 6. According to the World Health Organization, depression results from a complex interaction of social, psychological, and biological factors. These may include the following. 7. As was true in Julia's case, depression often runs in families, suggesting that genetics can play a role, perhaps affecting chemical activity in the brain. Other physical risk factors include cardiovascular disease and changing hormone levels, as well as ongoing substance abuse, which may intensify depression, if not give rise to it. 8. While a little stress can be healthy, chronic or excessive stress can be physically and psychologically harmful,
sometimes to the point of plunging a susceptible or biologically vulnerable teen into depression. That said, the exact causes of depression remain unclear and may involve a combination of factors as mentioned earlier. 9. Stress-related factors linked to depression may include parental divorce or separation, the death of a loved one, physical or sexual abuse, a serious accident, illness, or a learning disability, especially if a child feels rejected as a result. A related factor may be unrealistically high parental expectations, perhaps in regard to scholastic achievement. Other possible causes are bullying, uncertainty about the future, emotional estrangement by a depressed parent, and parental unpredictability. Now we come to the question. The question is, in note summary, list the symptoms and causes of depression. Your note summary should have 20 points. Any point beyond the stated limit will not be considered to be part of your summary. Introduction. The first point has been provided as an example. 1. Changes in sleep patterns, appetite, and weight. Before we answer the question or draft a summary, let's talk about summary writing. What is summary writing? Summary writing is the process of condensing a longer text into a shorter version that captures only the main ideas and essential points. It leaves out examples, illustrations, repetitions, and minor details, while keeping the meaning of the original text intact. In short, summary writing is the art of saying more with less, capturing the essence without the excess. Now let's talk about types of summary. Summaries can be categorized into two groups, namely note summary and prose summary. Now let's talk about these types individually. Let's start with note summary. What is note summary? Note summary is a summary that has the following qualities: format, bullet points, keywords, or short phrases. 2. Purpose, quick reference, highlights only the most important ideas. 3. Style, concise, fragmented, no full sentences needed. 4. Use case, study notes, outlines, meeting minutes, exam prep. Now let's look at an example of note summary. Example. Let's presume the summary is on climate change. You can write it like this: rising global temperatures, melting ice caps to sea level rise, increased extreme weather events, human activities, fossil fuels, deforestation, solutions, renewable energy, conservation. What is prose summary? A prose summary is a summary that has the following characteristics: format, full sentences and paragraphs. 2. Purpose, provides a flowing, readable account of the main ideas. 3. Style, narrative, explanatory, smooth transitions. 4. Use case, essays, reports, articles, storytelling. Example. Again, we presume that the summary is on climate change, and this is how we can prepare it. Climate change refers to the long-term alteration of Earth's climate patterns, largely driven by human activities such as burning fossil fuels and deforestation. Rising global temperatures have led to melting ice caps, which in turn cause sea levels to rise. These changes contribute to more frequent and severe weather events. To address climate change, societies are turning to renewable energy sources and conservation efforts. From the above illustration, we deduce that 1. A note summary is a skeleton of ideas, while a prose summary is a fleshed-out explanation in continuous text.
With that out of the way, let's go and answer the question at hand. Now, you should know that I have read the entire passage, and I have noticed that symptoms of depression are on paragraph 5. So let's go to paragraph 5 and identify points. Points. Now, be aware that you may need to read the entire passage sometimes, as points may be found all over the passage, which is different from today's scenario. Now, let's get our hands dirty. Paragraph 5. The symptoms of depression can appear during adolescence and may include changes in sleep patterns, appetite, and weight. Now, let me record this point. Changes in sleep patterns, appetite, and weight. Now, let's continue reading. Feelings of despair. Let me jot that point. Feelings of despair. Let's proceed. Hopelessness. Let's write this point. Feelings of hopelessness. Let's continue. Sadness. We can record this one. Feelings of sadness and worthlessness. Let me jot this one. Feelings of worthlessness. Let's continue. May also appear. Other signs include social withdrawal. Let's take note of that. Social withdrawal. We continue. Trouble concentrating. Let's jot that. Trouble concentrating and trouble remembering. We proceed. Suicidal thoughts or actions. Take note of suicidal thoughts or actions and medically unexplained symptoms. When mental health professionals suspect depression, they usually look for groups of symptoms that persist for weeks and that disrupt a person's everyday life. Okay, now you can see that we have raised 10 symptoms of depression. So we have done the task at hand. Now let's look for 10 points on causes of depression. The paragraph that contains cause are paragraphs 7, 8, and 9. Now let's start with paragraph 7. Let's read the paragraph and get the points to use in a summary. 7. As was true in Julia's case, depression often runs in families. Let's take note of that point. Depression runs in families or genetics. Let's continue. Suggesting that genetics can play a role, perhaps affecting chemical activity in the brain. Let's jot that. Chemical activity in the brain. Let's continue. Chemical activity in the other physical risk factors include cardiovascular disease. Let's write that. Let's go ahead. And changing hormone levels. Let's note that. Changing hormone levels. Let's continue. As well as ongoing substance abuse. We jot that. Ongoing substance abuse. Let's continue. Which may intensify depression, if not give rise to it. We are now done with paragraph 7. Let's go to paragraph 8, and it reads as follows. 8. While a little stress can be healthy, chronic or excessive stress, let's take note of that, chronic or excessive stress, we continue, can be physically and psychologically harmful, sometimes to the point of plunging a susceptible or biologically vulnerable teen into depression. That said, the exact causes of depression remain unclear and may involve a combination of factors as mentioned earlier. In this paragraph, I have just found one point. Let's go to paragraph 9. 9. Stress-related factors linked to depression may include parental divorce or separation. We take note of that point. Parental divorce or separation. Let's continue. The death of a loved one. We write that one too. Death of a loved one. Physical or sexual abuse.
That one also, we write it, physical or sexual abuse. Let me go through the remaining part and see the point I can add to make 20 points and then construct a summary. Now let's continue reading the paragraph. A serious accident, illness, or learning disability, especially if a child feels rejected as a result. A related factor may be unrealistically high parental expectations, perhaps in regard to scholastic achievement. Other possible causes are bullying. Let me take note of that one. Bullying, uncertainty about the future, emotional estrangement by a depressed parent, and parental unpredictability. Now, like this, we have come up with note summary. We read through our summary as follows. Symptoms: changes in sleep patterns, appetite and weight. Feelings of despair, feelings of hopelessness, feelings of sadness, and feelings of worthlessness. Social withdrawal, trouble concentrating or remembering, suicidal thoughts or actions, and medically unexplained symptoms. Causes: depression runs in families, genetics, chemical activity in the brain, cardiovascular disease, changing hormone levels, and substance abuse. Chronic or excessive stress, parental divorce or separation, the death of a loved one, physical or sexual abuse, and bullying. Like this, we have answered the question correctly. Since it is revision, let's also prepare a prose summary. Now, to write a prose summary, we are going to use the 20 points we extracted from the passage and put them together into paragraphs like this. Just a minute. Let me say this before we prepare the prose summary. Bear in mind that the prose summary is not the answer to the question we are tackling in this paper, but the note summary is. Now let's go and prepare the note summary like this. Teen depression presents with both symptoms and causes. Symptoms include changes in sleep patterns, appetite, and weight. Feelings of despair, hopelessness, sadness, and worthlessness. Social withdrawal, trouble concentrating or remembering, suicidal thoughts or actions, and medically unexplained symptoms. Causes: depression runs in families, genetics, chemical activity in the brain. Other physical risk factors include cardiovascular disease, changing hormone levels, and ongoing substance abuse. Chronic or excessive stress can also trigger depression. Stress-related causes include parental divorce or separation, the death of a loved one, physical or sexual abuse, and bullying. Together, these symptoms and causes show that depression results from a complex interaction of biological, psychological, and social factors, often disrupting a teen's everyday life. Thanks so much for watching. If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe and press the notification button so that you will never miss our future videos. Bye for now. See you in our next video.